Hi, this is Arielle, Arielle Live TV, and every Thursday I'm coming back to the new hours all the time, 12 noon, like we always do, right? And I have two wonderful guests here. They're my dear friend, and of course, we're just gonna chit chat here. We're gonna talk about politics, we're gonna talk about what my dear friend Rosemary's dream to the immigration reform. Let's talk about that. I want to welcome Professor Robert, and of course, my dear friend Rosemary. Rosemary used to have her own show on my network.
Oh, super.
Yeah. So let's talk about yours. What is this immigration reform? And then we'll talk about, I'll chit chat with Professor Robert in regards about, hey, coming up, new president again,
Wonderful.
right?
Yes.
Tell me about this immigration reform. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to tell to the world or to the community or all diversity?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for the invite. I'm very blessed to be here today. And you are wonderful as always with our community, with all communities, actually. Thank you so much. And I miss working with you. We will be working soon. But let me tell you, this project, this project I'm doing actually is an immigration reform march to support all the people that have came here from different countries and it contributed to our country by buying homes, working here, paying taxes, not getting into any problems, being able to become and live the American dream and be able to become U.S. citizens of the United States. So the reason we are doing an immigration reform march is because we are supporting the Dignity Act 2023, which is a bipartisan bill put by a Democrat and a Republican, and they put it together so that we can be, actually Congresswoman Salazar put it together. We are supporting this bill because this bill will bring millions out of the shadows. We have over 300,000 immigrants in the state of Nevada, sorry. But we have 41 million undocumented people in the United States. We have different groups of people from different parts of country. So therefore they have different needs. Some of them, are here asking for asylum. Some of them are dreamers. We have our huge immigrant communities that need to come out of the shadows because they've been here 30 and 40 years without being able.
So you're saying the immigration reform, as I understand to you need for them to be able to access either they are non-immigrant. You're saying you want them to come out on their box, don't be afraid,
Yes.
so that we can assist them to what they're looking for, especially their immigrant status, their housing development, their health care. Is that what you're trying to say here? I think that's what I'm trying to understand because as you know, that's been already reformed in the White House that, hey, non-immigrant come out now. We will help you, don't be afraid. But still, the people who has a bad record, they should be going back. There's a lot of people are actually extremists. They are all here, so they will not gonna come out because they are here. They are sent here to become an extremist. They will not do that. So, are you saying that immigration reform is basically come out? I help you to get your passport. I help you to get your health care. I help you to get your housing. Is that what you're doing right now? Because that's what they're doing now.
No. It's not that we want to give them everything because they're here illegally. We want them to be able to reach out and get their statuses done by the DREAM Act, actually the Dignity Act, that is within the law. They will be able to work legally, not illegally, work legally in the United States. They will get a work permit, and also they will get a permit to be able to go out of the United States and come back and visit their family members that have died. Many of them lost their family members.
So you're saying that other people are doing now as a resource center like Diversity Chamber of Commerce, Sophie Bara, like me. There's so many homeless actually. Last night we have another one. So we send them, thank you so much. City Center of Downtown Hotel, they're partnering with us. I send them there and they give us a deal. So you're saying in your march, this coming October 14, you're saying that to tell the word, to tell the non-immigrant, hey, come out, join me. Let's make this happen. You guys are too long here in hiding. Right. This is a time for you to come out and we can help you to get your driver license, to get your ID, to start your life. I think already the White House approved that already. Isn't it, Professor Robert? Is that what I'm
It's in the works.
Yeah. The problem, there's a couple of problems. First of all, we have a legal way to come to America. Right. People do their legal documents. They wait 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. They're vetted. They go through the whole process just like getting a visa, more so, and they come here legally. That's not the problem. Those people did it correctly. Right. The problem is we got 20 million other people that are crossing the border illegally. Then they come here. So first they make the first crime by illegally entering our country. And if they did it in Germany, they would immediately be arrested and sent back home. If they did it in England, they would be arrested and sent back home. If they did it in most countries, they'd be arrested and sent back home. But the Democrats in our country say everybody can come over, and now the southern border states like Texas are sending them to New York. And now there's 100,000 illegal immigrants in New York laying all over the streets, and now the New Yorkers are going, wait a minute, we didn't know when we said we're a sanctuary city that we were going to have the problem. So all the border cities have the problem of millions of illegals.
That's right. It's a border crisis.
And now they're sending the illegals to New York and Chicago.
We have a biggest land, South Dakota, North Dakota. That's
but we have a legal way to do things.
But they're already here. You cannot do it.
It's not legal. You have a legal driver's license. You have legal insurance.
Right.
We can't do things illegally, and we live here. So how can they come here and do everything illegally and everything should be okay?
Because President Biden allows that to have illegal crossing in the border. And so that's why we're having more thousands and thousands of people coming here.
Millions.
Millions, I'm sorry. And now it's created a problem in different states. Those people, some of those people are adding to our homeless percentages of families that are homeless within the United States.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're trying to say. It's time for them to come out because they're paying taxes anyway.
Well, how can you pay taxes when you work illegally?
I have a lot of friends that I know they're paying taxes.
Through their ITIN numbers.
Yeah.
These are hardworking people that are paying their taxes.
No, the working people nobody has a problem with. Because they contribute to society.
Right.
It's the gang members, the illegal people, the terrorists, and those people are coming by the thousands. Anyway, also you wanted to talk about the presidential race.
Yeah, let's do it. Why don't you invite everybody this coming October 14 at 555 West Washington. This is going to be a big event for all non-immigrant and also for the not just Hispanic, or we say Spanish, Hispanic, or the whole diversity, like my chamber diversity, right?
Yes, we're gonna have people there from different parts of the country. This is not only a Hispanic event because immigration is not only about Hispanics. We have people from other countries coming together on that day to come and sing and dance for a dream. Everybody comes here for a dream. So we have Waking Up as One Nation, an event that we've had for other events in the past. And we also, this march is named United for a Dream. Why? Because we have, the people are already here. The people have children here and their jobs are here, so why not get them a status that they've been waiting for 30-some years, 36 or 37 years, when Ronald Reagan, when the amnesty was passed. So we're talking, there's a lot of bad things happening to these families. There's human trafficking because of the cartel. There's a lot of money involved, millions and millions of dollars.
Billions.
We have in here
And
inside
billions.
the U.S.
We have children disappearing. We have a big crisis at the border. And I think it's time that we already step up to the plate and say, no more. We need an immigration reform. We know that Biden, when he first, stepped into the presidential office, he said, we're going to fix the immigration system. We're going to do something about it. And it's all false promises, and I'm really disappointed at that. But, I mean, they have to work together. If Congress doesn't work together, the Democrats and the Republicans don't work together to pass a bill and to make it happen, then we're always going to be stuck with the problems. New York's going to get worse, California's going to get worse, and all other countries are going to get worse. We already have a drug problem in the United States. We have a drug problem that we shouldn't blame on Mexico only, but we do have a drug problem in the United States.
Yeah, 300 people die per day.
There you go.
Because of fentanyl. And here's the thing, if somebody was going to call you and said, I'm going to murder all your family members with a drug, you would go to war.
Of course.
We're losing 300, we're losing 10,000 people a month.
Wow.
And we don't declare war on these people that are killing us.
Yes.
The drug cartels before Biden were making a few $100 million per year.
Right.
Now they're making over 10 billion per year, trafficking millions of people across the border. Because everybody that crosses the border has to pay the cartel 10,000, 20,000, like a slave. It's horrible situation.
It's about, in America, not just America, around the world, are all the same.
Yes.
It's not true.
It's just about greed,
It's not true.
money.
Germany doesn't have an open border. I have been there many times. I've been to England. As an American citizen, I had to go through 3 passport checks with all my documents to go from France
Can I say
into
something
England.
about that? Because America is the land of opportunity. Because America is the land of freedom. Because
And law
America,
and order. Law and order.
Law and order. America. People are coming here to dictate us. They should not do that. If you think you're taking advantage, it's a privilege. That's why you cannot compare America. America is always going to be the best ever. I don't care if people's going to get mad, but they are all here, then they could leave. Look
If
at
you
some
don't
of
like
the
it, leave,
celebrities.
yeah.
And
this
is a lot of celebrities says, they
Right.
said when Trump went, I'm going to leave, but they're still here because they will fly free, right?
Mostly, yes.
Mostly, right? No,
But-
tell
but
me. Let's
now,
talk about,
Now a lot of laws are changing about our freedom of speech. We don't have freedom of speech anymore.
Of course.
We used to have it. We don't
Not-
now.
we lost
We
it.
don't have freedom of guns. They're trying to take the guns away. And we don't have freedom of money. Now they want to regulate every transaction of $400. That's what they used to do in communism days.
Right.
I've been here 59 years and we didn't have a regulation
you're
on
saying
money
that
for years.
Biden removed the freedom of speech?
No, not Biden. It's the liberals that are removing it. For example, the gay rights people want to do their their gay rights month and promote their lifestyle to Christians and to Muslims who don't agree with that.
And to
but
students.
if the Christians and Muslims want to promote their lifestyle, they can't do it.
Well, that's not fair.
That's not freedom.
That's not freedom.
Yes. So anyway, you want to talk about politics a little bit?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so
I think you already set it out, the message.
Yes, she did.
I think that's a good message.
Yeah.
And I think you've been doing that from day one. I'm proud of her. You're always out there to
Gotta
promote
gotta
it.
go
But
help the people.
You need a community. You need
Right.
joint venture. You cannot do it alone. It's so huge.
Right.
I mean, marching out there, people already know that. But it's still, they're still going to block it.
Of course.
They're going to just get open again.
Okay, so back to politics.
Politics, let's talk about
So
Trump.
here's what's interesting. I've been reading Trump's books for 30 years. So I'm an avid student of Donald Trump. He's a billionaire, he's a multi-billionaire. He's not perfect, but he's a very smart guy. I've read 5 of his books, and people don't understand Trump at all. When you're in business and you're dealing with billions of dollars, you have to fix problems quickly. You can't let problems go on and on and on like our government does. So I'm 59 years old. When I voted for Reagan, when I was 18, 20 years old, we had the same problems in our country. Schools have problems, drugs, we have problems, crime is a problem, people are living paycheck to paycheck. We've had these problems for 40 years, but the country has invested trillions of dollars, $30 trillion, and we have not fixed any of these problems. If you were the CEO of any company, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Google, and they gave you a $10 billion budget and you didn't fix problems, you'd be fired. Your whole administration would be fired. But we don't fire the administrations of the cities, the counties that continue the problems. We hire them again, and we vote for them again. And because they're able to put a false narrative out there. So let's look at what's going on with the Trump campaign. The liberals are saying Trump is a bad guy, he's a criminal, and now they've indicted him 4 times.
Correct.
But none of the evidence has been proven. It's all one-sided.
Well, what happened is, let me interrupt you there. In any politics, they find way, okay? In any politics, not just here, they find the little things and they're trying to make it a big thing.
Right.
Like Biden. The reason they're not pushing that much to Hunter is because they're Democrat. Everybody loves Democrat. Everybody they're on their side. So that's why they're not persecuting too much the son. But when it comes to Trump, because he is a Republican, they're persecuting him because they
Not
don't
just
like
him, everybody on his team.
Yeah.
So for the last 5 years, everybody on his team has been investigated or raided. Their offices have been raided. Their houses have been raided. So it's a one-sided terrorist system.
Correct.
We're terrorizing the Republicans, but we're not terrorizing the Democrats. And it's illegal. And should be illegal.
Look what happened
But the
to,
only way to fix it is
Obama.
to have a government that's neutral.
I'm sorry. Obama has become
Super
two-term.
rich.
2 term. Now he becomes super rich because of become a president.
And plus he's coaching Biden.
Correct.
Yeah.
The same thing with Michelle. She become rich because of
They're worth
coaching
over
other
$50 million now.
Now.
And I don't think that should be legal.
Right.
I don't think it should be legal to get into politics and say, yeah, I'm serving the American people and making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Now, if we're going to have it that way, then disclose it legally.
Correct.
Say it's legal for all the politicians to do bribery, to do a terrorist, to accept money from our enemies. Make it a law that it's okay. But we have it the other way. We have it, if you serve the public, you can't take millions of dollars.
Let me ask you, Professor Robert, since you're smarter than me about politics in America.
I watch it every day.
Tell me about, do you think so Obama did a good job for our country?
No.
No, he did
Absolutely not.
Because I
Well,
hear
ask
crying.
the black
Hold on.
people, ask the black community
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
what
to say.
Obama did for them.
Nothing,
He had
that's it.
8 years and billions and billions and billions of dollars. And I know black people all over America. Not one of them says Obama did super good for our city or our community or for the inner city
He
groups.
neglected the black community, as I heard.
Trump started an initiative of business support to black-owned businesses when he became president because of Dr. Carlson, and that was a free zone all over America. That helped millions of people. And I think if Trump would have had 4 more years, everything would have been booming. During his presidency, we had the lowest unemployment in minorities, the lowest unemployment with women, the lowest unemployment with teenagers. Everybody before the pandemic that wanted to work was able to work. And you remember we had $3 gas prices. I'm
Correct.
paying $5 a gallon for
Yeah.
gas. It hurts me every week. Every week when I go to the gas pump, I feel the pain.
The same.
Every day I go to the grocery store. I went to the grocery store a couple days ago, got about 8 small
So,
bags.
let's just
Wait,
go
wait,
back.
wait.
Okay.
8 small bags, and it was $220 for 2 people. And I'm thinking, how does a family of 5 or a family of 7
Correct.
afford to pay their house payment, their insurance, high
Correct.
gas prices, food, plus school, plus all the taxes? Is horrible.
So you're saying for the 8 years that he was in the office, Obama made millions for themselves, for the family, but nothing on the black community, because I have a lot of friends. He said,
I wouldn't say
"Shit."
nothing, but it wasn't super sized.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So now Biden come out. No, now Trump, because Michelle Obama does not like, Trump. So
No.
they didn't actually turn over in a nice way. They went separate way. You go on and I go on. And now it's Biden. What do you think, Biden?
Well, Biden campaigned that he was going to kill oil. He was going to shut
He
it down.
did. He
He
already
campaigned.
did. Yeah.
He said, I'm going to shut down oil. But what he didn't tell Americans is that was going to double our gas prices. He didn't tell us because trucks have to pay double diesel prices, that was going to increase inflation to 20 to 30 to 40%. And he didn't tell us that home mortgage rates were going to go to from 3% to 7%, which is catastrophic. Now, I knew he was going to destroy the economy. I watched him
Well,
say,
you know why the reason he's doing that? Because he wants money for the government to support the needs of the government. So that
Of the
means
people.
he's charging our lower citizen to become
More dependent on the government.
on the government. So that means he's getting in half and put it in the government and half
well,
for the
and the
homeowner.
problem with that is 100 million middle-class families are paying $5,000 per year more for gas and food and inflation, and they're racking up their credit cards. Now the debt in America, by the way, I'm a doctor of economics too, the debt in America on credit cards is near $1 trillion. The highest we've ever had in the history of our country. So because people can't afford to pay paycheck to paycheck, they're putting things on their credit card and they're growing their credit card debt.
Correct. I know you don't want to talk about Trump, sis, but I think we are here because I think he is also going to help the immigration reform. It does not matter either you do the rally, and then it's been on the table.
Right.
It's been
Right.
there for
40 years.
50 years.
40
sis.
years,
The
yeah.
immigration
40,
reform, so
37
nothing
years.
to hide about it.
Right.
I mean, you're doing your best to make this thing happen. It's already there.
Yeah, and I've been involved in actually as a community activist pro-immigrant. It's been going on 24 years advocating for the immigrant communities because this is not only about immigration, this is about a humanitarian crisis. And I think it's very important that if we love God, God loves us, that we share that. And I understand that we have to go by the law and by the rules, but there's people that are suffering. There's children that are dying out there.
Question.
There's many things that I don't support about it, but I look at it as, as a humanitarian
So
crisis.
question, we have 8 billion people on this planet, 8 billion.
Right.
5 billion live in poverty. 1.5 billion live in China. 1.3 billion live in India. Are we supposed to, as Americans, open the door and say, oh, bring the 5 billion poor people here to destroy our country? Because that will do.
Well,
wait.
Okay.
If you bring billions of poor people anywhere, you will wipe out the city, the financial system. You will destroy the whole area. If we keep it the way it is, and they're living in their countries
Right.
where the cost of living is very low,
Right.
Cost of living in European third world countries is low compared to America. To live in America normally, car, insurance, house, you need $3,000 a month.
Right.
I was in Ukraine.
Five to 6,000.
Well, that's to live like you live. I'm talking minimum starvation living.
Oh, minimum
Used
is
car.
like a 1,500?
No. I'm not talking about driving a Hummer. I'm talking about buying a $500 car, living in a
That's true.
$1,000 a month place.
Yeah.
But in Europe, for example, I lived in Ukraine for several years. Their cost of living is $300 a month. So if they're living over there poor at $300 a month, or in India or China, and they come here, now they have to increase to $3,000 a month. Where's the money?
Right. Where is
So
the money?
now crime is up,
Right.
not by the good working immigrants, but all the millions of immigrants that can't get jobs because they don't have documents.
Right.
Now, in my early days, when I was broke, I would go mow a lawn and earn $3, or wash windows and earn $3 to $5. I didn't think about stealing, right? Now we got crime up in all the democratic cities.
Right. Well, it's very important because to talk about this topic, and so I take it very seriously when I see thousands and thousands of U.S. citizens not working and asking for money in the corners, and they're half of them are, they don't even look like they can live up to, hold on for a second, sis, live up to society because they're on drugs. And when you have a big percentage of homeless people living in that type of society where they're homeless because they don't want to move on and go get a job, where you have a group of people coming into this country wanting to work, wanting to go and do whatever it is to wash cars, go do the housekeeping, go do the job that most Americans don't want to do, then and you have a lot of restaurants where we're going through that right now,
but
where we
sis,
have
you
a lot
cannot
of
blame-
businesses, hold on sis, a lot of businesses that are don't have the workers that they need. I mean, and we have lots of people in the streets that don't have a job and are U.S. citizens, and they're not working. So they're going to bring these people in. I think that's where the direction
the
they're
whole
going.
system is broken.
They're
But
bringing
no,
in these
let me
people,
interrupt you with that.
give
No.
them work permits to work legally so that they can raise the economy and they can be able, we can have another America great again.
No, you're talking two different things. Let me interrupt you with that. I understand where you're coming from, okay? I think, the government, they're doing their best.
Right.
No, they're
okay?
not. They're
Hold
doing
on for
zero.
that. We're talking about the home. She's talking about the homeless.
Yeah, but the government's doing almost
no,
nothing.
They're not
they
doing
already
anything.
offer them everything.
Yeah.
But there's three kinds of mental health.
Yes.
One is drug addiction. One is doesn't want to come home. One is they want to be homeless. One is like they lost their homes. Okay, there's three kinds.
Right.
Okay, so there's a drug addiction. One is being kicked out. One doesn't want to. Four or five. One is they don't want to really want to have a place. They
Right.
just want to be out there. They get used to it. They're happy to be
Yeah.
where they at. So
Yeah,
what
but
is
it's
the
a
mental
nuisance
health?
to society.
Yeah.
Right.
There is
Because
a
they're going
way.
to the bathroom on the street. That it's a nuisance to society. So, you know,
But
I was
hold on,
raised.
we built so many houses already that is
It's
not
not
enough
about
yet.
the house. If
I
they
mean,
have a mental health problem, they
that's
need to
why-
go to a
no,
mental
that's
clinic
why, no,
and
that's
get.
why the government should give more funding for the
Exactly.
behavioral and mental health. Without
Right.
the funding, we don't even have enough psychiatrists here because they are being hard. They should just, give them the licensing because, there's so many. Either you have a mental breakdown,
Yeah.
either
Right,
you,
right.
either me, we all do.
Right.
Because of the financial lack.
And this is where it all starts with the homeless communities that I've been doing a little bit of research, not a lot on that yet, but I will be doing that. We're not getting the federal funding that we need for our homeless communities. I believe that they should, like, for instance, we're here in Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada. I think that they should have instead of building a stadium, I think they should be building some, buildings and have some, rehabilitation, mental health.
Well, you have to do
and
both.
You have to do everything all at
Money-making
once.
people want a stadium, and they need to have some
Right,
help for
some type of-
the homeless.
yeah,
So
to
you
be able
can't
to
punish
support
the
them.
working people and say, oh, you can't have sports
Right.
because we have 10,000 homeless
That's
people.
right. That's
You know,
right, but
you got
we also-
3 million people in this
Yeah.
city,
Correct.
and you got to provide
this is
for
a
the
big
people
thing
that
for
are
us to
working.
talk about. Let's just
Instead
talk
of
Trump.
having all
Let's
these
talk Trump.
politicians become
Yeah.
millionaires
Okay.
and staying in a seat for so many years,
Right.
I believe that they should be able to cut the years of servicing and being our leaders in the United States
Down to 8
and
years.
down to 8 years.
Right. I
Lower
agree.
that
I agree.
because they're becoming millionaires. These nonprofits are millionaires. And what about our people?
They're
Because
getting nothing.
inflation is killing us. People are dying
That's
in the
why
streets.
Obama and Michelle are
And I'm
$50
so
million
fired up about it.
Well,
let's talk about Trump.
Clintons are worth over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Because they collected money all over the world.
Correct.
Okay, so Trump doesn't need money from anybody. Number one, he doesn't need anybody's money. Number two, during his 4 years, we had the lowest inflation, the lowest unemployment, and the best economy in the history of the United States. Now, true, he's hardcore. True, he's brash. But you have to be brash to get things done.
Correct.
And he stopped the big war in Afghanistan, and he stopped the palisades. He destroyed all that in record time. So you got a person who's got 20 things that he did great and 2 or 3 things that people are angry about. They're angry that he says bad remarks toward women.
Yeah.
They're angry about that. They're angry that he pushes people around, but he's the president. He's supposed to get people working. And they're angry that he tweets too much. Personally, I like Trump. I think, yeah, he should be more toned down a little bit.
Yes, that's it.
But
That's
if I
it,
have
yeah.
a choice of Biden's economy, double gas prices, inflation, double mortgage rates from 3 to 7%, double mortgage rates. This economy nobody likes.
That's right.
70% of the people, even the Democrats, have said this economy's got to go. These problems have got to go. 70% of the people, Democrats, Independents, and Republicans, have said Biden at 80 years old, he can't even hardly move. He needs to retire.
Well, he has this year.
Yeah, but he wants another 4 years, and he can't even talk now, hardly.
Yeah, but who's behind the scenes?
Well, that's not important. What's important is the president needs to be able to talk.
Right.
All right, so what else do you want to know about Trump? Because I'm a Trump expert.
What do you think the chances of Trump to win?
Right now, he's tied with Biden, and that's with 4 indictments. That's with all the liberal media that controls 80% of the viewership in this country. But I'm going to give you a fact. 80% of the people are hearing the lies on the liberal television. They're not getting the truth. With all of that negativity, Trump is tied with Biden. Imagine if Biden's corruption was revealed on ABC, CBS, and NBC for 2 weeks. The truth about the Hunter laptop. The truth about Biden has now, with his son and brother, have collected $200 million around the world over the last 15 years. Now, I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're now trying to stop Trump from being on the voting ballot in Colorado.
Oh, wow.
And they're going to try it in several of the liberal states. And that's very bad. And we already know, now they're talking about a new pandemic coming. They're talking about a new shutdown. That means false ballots again.
Correct.
And anybody that's followed, the liberal news is saying Trump lost the election. That's not true. Trump won the election. The night of the election, I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was saying Trump won. The next morning, they put in all the false ballots in several states. And there's thousands of witnesses. And then they come out and say, oh, Trump lost. They have counties in America that had more ballots than voters. How's that legal? And none of that has been cleaned up in the last 3 years. It's all a cover-up. It's a massive cover-up.
Well, because they want Democrat to win this time, because they don't want America to be a good America, like Trump is trying to do. In fact, listen to this. If Trump is the president, this thing's war
will end in very
quickly.
It will end quickly.
Yeah.
If Trump becomes president, gas prices will go back down. Inflation will drop like a rock. The price of buying a house will drop like a rock. And the wars will be over because nobody wants to mess with Trump.
Correct.
And what I'm more concerned about versus Trump winning 4 years is I'm concerned about the next 20 years of our country, because you and I are similar age, so we could live to be 70 or 80.
No, I'm younger than you. I'm 35. What's wrong with you?
But we have to deal with the country for the next 20 years. And we can't deal with a country where they want to teach children 5 years old that being transgender is normal.
Oh, wow.
Being gay is normal. Having sex with each other is normal. That's what they want to teach our children. And Florida outlawed it. Florida made laws and outlawed it. The Christians control 60% of this country, but the Christians are not defending the country against the liberals and against the far left.
Well, we should not. Okay, I mean, we have to be very careful. I know that.
Why do we have to be careful? We have freedom of speech.
No, I know that we should not discriminate them, okay?
They're discriminating against us.
But they should not discriminating against us. We should be equally, okay?
No, I disagree.
Not equally. Hold on.
So you think they should have the right to teach our children that it's okay to be transgender?
No, hold on a second. Hold on. The bathroom, because it's so scary, I experienced this. One of the stop area, okay? I come out and I went in, right? Went in.
Yeah.
I was scared. A man is there, real man.
Oh, yeah.
In the woman's bathroom. And it's like, okay, what about if they pretend there's nothing in there, vacancies, and this man is there, a rapist?
Right, that's the problem.
Because of our stupidity that he is her, he. He is her, he. Why we have to emphasize that? We should just be going back to the normal men's, woman. Now, if you're not completely become a woman, you should be in a man's. Correct?
Of course.
If you're not completely a man, you should be in a man. If you're not completely a woman, you should be in a man's.
In the women's.
In the women's.
Yeah.
Correct.
No, and I, you know, they have a big
It's
new.
scary because I was
it
there
is.
in one stop area, because I always drive going back to California, going back to Arizona. And I was like, oh my God, a man is there to the woman's bathroom.
Yeah.
And I totally understand.
Do you guys agree with that?
I went through that.
Women are.
You went to that?
Yes, I went through that.
Women are very sensitive about their bathroom. Men are kind of like dogs.
Yeah.
They'll go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't take elegant women that are very particular about wiping the seat and deodorant and all that, and have men, you know, or
and
you
just splashing their thingies there.
yeah, of course. And you got to have a bathroom that locks the door if you're going to have it. Both people can use the bathroom. In Europe, I lived in Europe for many years. All the bathrooms are bisexual bathrooms. You can, men or women can use the single bathroom, but you lock the door.
Correct.
Not a group thing.
Correct.
You know, and we've got the men that want to say, "Oh, I'm a woman," and they're in the locker room of women showing their stuff to the women. That should be illegal.
Correct.
You know, but who's promoting all this disgusting behavior?
LGBT,
It's not the Christians. It's not the Muslims. It's not family-oriented people, because we were raised with manners. We were raised that you can't do this.
Right.
And that's going to be a big fight in this country. The way Europe solved the problem is they just said lock the door, and they have single-use bathrooms. So like when I go to a restaurant, they have 7 bathrooms that are they're all single-use bathrooms. They don't have the women's group and the men's group. They're all single-use and everybody can lock the door.
Well, this is a good conversation. This is intense. Maybe we can do this every week, and we can bring some of the politicians who's running for their seat that they made so many promises, but as soon as they won, they forget the promises. They forgot everything. And then again, every time they run for an office, they're going to talk about it again. Just repeatedly. How could we stop them by just talking? Maybe they could just say, hey, you made this promise, do this.
Yeah, you've got, and I think we ought to have new laws with television and radio that when you're a politician and you lie on TV or you lie on radio, you should be penalized.
Right.
You should have to pay a penalty. And if you're a journalist, like the Russiagate, 4 years of Russiagate, everything was wrong. It was investigated, millions of dollars spent, it was all corruption. But nobody on the liberal side is going to prison. I think when we have these misrepresentations for 2-3 years, people have to go to prison for a minimum of 3 years. Very quick court, you lied on TV about all this stuff, you go to prison for 3 years.
So then everybody are going to prison then, all these running candidates,
All the
everybody,
people,
all the
yeah.
people,
Yeah, you got to tell the
know,
truth.
I mean,
So you need to work harder so you can beat them, because you're going to be paying taxes just for prisoners now.
Hey, but you know, you gotta stop people from lying on national TV.
Anyway, this is a good conversation coming up soon. Professor Robert talk show is going to talk about the bullshit politics, and then of course Rosemary is going to talk about
The
I don't know
march.
what the march.
Immigration.
I don't know. She's been in my TV for a long time. I don't understand her. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. And once again, Professor Robert, and welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Have a good week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Anyway, coming soon, it's going to be, now, not coming soon, we will be here with the tribe, Lakota Indian tribe. We're going to talk about what happened to them, what happened to Rushmore, and what happened to the Black Hills. Once again, this is Arielle.
Arielle TV, Las Vegas.
And
Tune
in. Professor Robert, both talk bullshit with him when it comes to politics. Hey, they talk about that, right?